Here we are, born to be kings, we're the princes of the universe. No, not quite, not yet, but here we are, at the end of the year, another top 5 and bottom 5. Doesn't quite work as well. Also doesn't work because you split the video, Spyro. So, yeah, that doesn't work. It's just the top 5. But here we are, the top 5. The video, the more, the better video. Because all the bad games, let's face it, they were all the same. They're all live service trash. And again, so I'm not really going to cover them next year. But these ones, these 5. We can praise for their ideas, their innovations, even if it's not innovative, just the creativeness of it. So, once again, this video might be a bit long, so I'm just going to let you get into it. So here is the one that didn't quite make it, almost a top 5, but just barely missed out. So this is the runner-up, and then I'll stick all the others together, and I'll let you watch the top 5, and I'll be back at the end with a little outro to say, hey, we're moving into the, here we are in the future, here we are in Flying Cars 2020. Some people not even in 2020 yet, it's still 2019 for them, those cavemen. They're there bashing sticks and rocks together. We're here in the future with flying cars, but I'll be back at the end. So for now, enjoy the best games of the year. So the runner-up is not really going to be that longer one, because I don't have too much to say on it in terms of the game itself, but more what the game represents as, you know, joke aside, we move into the new decade. We're getting a lot of things coming out of different companies, and Nintendo, with its new president, is starting to change a lot of stuff. In terms of the game, it's Crypt of the Necrodancer with a Zelda skin. You know, it's not really too much to write home about. It looks like Zelda game, and it feels like Zelda game with the puzzles, except you can either play it in the rhythm mode, or you can play it in super rhythm mode if you're a badass where everything moves in double time, or if you've got no rhythm, you can play it in super hot mode where enemies only move when you move. So, you know, it's Crypt of the Necrodancer. The thing that makes it special though, and why it got number 5, is to do with Nintendo and their new approach to this new decade. I mean, they kind of started in 2019, right at the very beginning of 2019, but now here we are in the future and it's bright. It feels like this is where the ball properly starts rolling, as they have now put these things into motion, and now that these things are in motion, they're going to kind of snowball. So obviously a couple of years ago, the original Nintendo president, or at least the one that we grew up with over the past couple of decades, Mr. Satoru Iwata, had an untimely passing, which was very unfortunate. And at the time, he had some plans that he wanted to carry out going forward, and via his death, with people like Sakurai with Smash Brothers, he said, I want you to make this the best Smash Brothers ever. You know, the Nintendo Switch was Mr. Iwata's final gift, and he said to several people that, you know, this is my parting gift, and I want you to carry on that legacy. I want you to show that this is what I am leaving behind. And, you know, Sakurai continued that wish, and he crazy man, he hooked himself up to an IV drip to just constantly work on Smash, and he's never stopped working on it. And Smash Ultimate has gone from a bit of a rocky launch, you know, it had a couple of missing features, to one of the biggest fighting games in the entire world, potentially of this decade. I don't think there will ever be another Smash game, because you will not top it. But, you know, then then Mr. Iwata died, and we had Kimishima take over, who was just a placeholder. He didn't really do much, and in fact he probably did more harm than good. You know, he content ID'd and cease and desisted a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Twitch streams, a lot of fan projects like AM2R, but he was just temporary. And then the replacement, Mr. Furukawa, he is barely in his 40s. He is still a very young gentleman, and because he is young enough to understand the current generation, he understands that back in the day it was fine to have region exclusives like the Mother series. It was fine to have region exclusives, to have console exclusives, to keep your IP to yourself, which was Kimishima. He was 70 years old, he was still in the old ways, like, no you can't, like with AM2R, no you can't touch my property, it's mine, it's not yours, don't touch my property, this belongs to me. And AM2R was cease and desisted, but with the new Nintendo president and Cadence of Hyrule, it is the first step into the future of Nintendo, and that's why I put it only as number 5, because the game itself is good, but it's what the game represents. Because since Kimishima came to power, Content ID for Nintendo videos have been completely removed from YouTube and Twitch, so you can stream Nintendo games with no sense of being shut down. You can upload any Nintendo content and you no longer have to play Erase Your Chains of Love. You can just upload it and Nintendo won't claim it. So that was his first thing. Obviously all the content creators loved him. And then we come back round to Cadence of Hyrule, where he said, right, there is a lot of fans that make things like AM2R. There's a lot of people that are interested in providing quality content to Nintendo. So it was a big gamble, obviously, because you're about to let random nobodies touch your officially licensed IP. But so it was a very big gamble, but he can see, like Phil Spencer, who's always doing, you know, his indie showcases at the at E3. He took Phil Spencer's advice. He took the indie game gamble, and he said, right, Crypt of the Necrodancer, you have put Zelda, or people have modded Zelda music into your game. This seems like a very popular game. This seems like a good testing ground to start going forward with everyone. So he said, Crypt of the Necrodancer guys, I want you to make an official first party Zelda game. And Crypt of the Necrodancer guys said, yeah, okay, we want that, but we want to be allowed to hire whoever we want. Doesn't matter who it is, even if it's a random nobody off the street, we want them to do the pixel art. So, you know, like, oh, this is Bob. This is Bob from DeviantArt, but he is a fantastic pixel artist. We want Bob to do the pixel art. So it was a big gamble, and it paid off. It became a very well received title. Everybody that worked on it said they were proud to work on it. Everybody's favourite egg, Northern Lion, his wife worked on Crypt of the Necrodancer. She played the oboe, and when you go into the ice dungeon and you see the oboe wizard, that's all of her music. Just a random YouTuber's wife did the music. So Nintendo has finally broke their shackles of no, you can't touch that, and they're now starting to move forward with the world. They're starting to be like, indie developers are getting bigger. Indie developers have the ideas, the ambition, the passion. They want to help us. So who are we to stop these fans from helping us? Who are we to stop these individuals with creative ideas from helping us? So now, obviously there is trash. There is always going to be trash that will get cease and desisted, because there are going to be Chinese bootlegs. But with things that are clearly passion projects, things that had a lot of effort put into them, like another Metroid 2 remake, things that were clearly done out of passion and dedication, those type of projects, he wants to hire those people now. Like with how Sonic saw this earlier, and Sonic hired fans to make Sonic Mania, which has gone on to be one of the best Sonic games of all time, according to, you know, all the Sonic community. He is doing the same, so that's why it gets number 5. The game, it's a good game, it's a fun game. I mean, Crypt of the Necrodancer's fun, but it's what the game represents, and it represents Nintendo now looking into letting just random people come on board and bring their ideas on board, and letting all these indie developers actually touch their first party IP. And of course, with the moving forward, there is Breath of the Wild on the PC. You know, it's not supposed to officially be on the PC, but there are emulators, and via Game Banana there are many mods for Breath of the Wild, like the you know, play as Zelda, play as the champions, Shrek is, or the Hinox is Shrek. There are many mods that have not been cease and desisted, because again, that is fan community, and there is clearly a market on the PC. And I believe within this decade, by the end of 2030, Nintendo will be releasing games on the PC. Maybe not brand new games, like they might not be like, oh, Breath of the Wild 2 is releasing on PC the exact same day as the Switch, but they're older titles like Breath of the Wild 1, Mario Odyssey. You might start seeing them come to Steam. So I'm happy that Nintendo did that. I am happy that Mr. Furukawa seems to know what he's doing. I am happy that they picked Mr. Furukawa, because he is a younger man. He understands where the world's going. He understands that indie developers are breathing new life into older IPs, unlike Kimishima that was just like, no, you can't touch that. So while it's just an average game, I still give it number 5. I still give it the honourable mention, the runner-up, for what it represents. And I like what it represents, and I like where Nintendo's going. So hopefully Kimishima will continue with this path of letting people, just random people and indie developers, continue to touch the first party IPs, so that we can get more creative games like Crypt of the Necrodancer. So yeah, that's Cadence of Hyrule. But now, there was a nice runner-up, it was good, but now we get into the real meat and potatoes, the ones that really earn their mettle, and these are the top 5. So here is number 5. While a good game, it's not that high on the list, nor do I have much to say on it, as it is just a remake of the Game Boy game, so there's not really that much to go over. I mean, it also does have a few minor reservations which don't really get it higher, like the art style. When I saw the watercolored trailer, damn! That shit good! Oh, that looks so good. And it would have been great if the whole game looked like that. Like, if the whole game was that watercolored. Oh, that would be nice. And due to things that happen in the story, like the ending, the toy box style, I was just like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, luckily they did put the ending in the watercolour style as well, so the ending wasn't ruined. But in terms of the entire game overall, I was just like, I don't know about that. Oh, I don't know about that toy box style. I mean, it looks fine. It looks good. Like Yoshi's Crafted World, it's still very nice. Everything is how it should look, and everything still feels very nice in terms of the way you interact with each of these little toys, because like you know, the grass is made of plastic, the chain chomp's made of Play-Doh, etc, etc. So like the way you interact with each of these toys, it's still, it works like Crafted World, but I think I would have rather had the watercolour style for the entire game. And then there's new extra stuff, like they locked a heart piece and a bottle behind the amiibo game Danpei's Dungeon Maker that is kinda bad. Like, it's not even a real maker like Mario Maker where you can just actually make your own dungeons. It's just a bunch of preset rooms that you put together in an order of your choosing. So it drags the game down to 5th place. But it is 5th nonetheless, as like the Crash remake, the Spyro remake, it's still very nice. It's still really well made, but there's just a couple of things that drag it down. However, as I say, it is still really nice. It's still really fun and enjoyable to play. Though, as nice as it is to see a 4-bit game brought to life and the vision is now fully realised with the aid of modern technology, it's just got some little things that drag it down slightly, and that's why I don't have that much to say about it, and kind of don't have that much to say about 4, but 3, 2 and 1, mwah, magnificent. But before that, the 4th worst. Okay, so this one is kind of a cheat, but to be fair, A, the PC and Switch did technically come out this year, so it still does count. B, I am your favourite narcissistic purple dragon, so how could I not vote for myself a 2nd year in a row? And C, like with any game being on PC, mods make it infinitely replayable. Prefer a female hero? Well, why not have Cinder or Ember with full female voice acting? So there's some really big mods like that, and then there are some simpler reskins like Dark Spyro or this Neon Night Rainbow one. That's cool. A fox skin? Interesting. But of course, before you know it, the Nintendog is saving the Dragon Realm. I'm cosplaying as Sans. Wanna have a bedtime, kid? Elora has got big anime boobies, and the Hinox is Shrek and Pyro.
PS reports have gotten progressively worse. Hard to find good help these days. Yes, about that. We're going to need you to...
What is this?
Made plans.
What mods have I downloaded for this to be acceptable in a video game? Oh, don't look at me. Don't fucking look at me, man, please.
Ooh, who's that sexy? Ooh, who's that sexy beast? Ooh, who's that sexy beast?
Good morning, Freeman.
Shut up. I can't tell how much of that was modded and how much of that was in the actual game. I want to get myself a gun. I want a gun. I do not feel safe around these people.
Why do we...
Some grenades. Ooh, is this a Glock?
I've had
A Glock that spouts a 2010 meme. Ah, stale memes. Gotta love them. It's a gang war. Oh, it's a gang war. Of course, me as the NYPD, I gotta split this up. We're breaking up this gang war. And you've splooged all over my hand. Is this a new CSGO skin? Are you playing Filthy Frank? Is this Filthy Frank?
It is the reason why Skyrim lasted as long as it did on PC, and it is why, with the aforementioned Hinox's Shrek, Breath of the Wild is alive and well on PC. It's fun to replay games with them, and here it is no different. So yes, while it's technically not a new game, it did come to PC this year, and the mods have made it fun to play over and over with all of the different, sometimes crazy stupid things like the Nintendogs, sometimes the very well made interesting things like Cinder or Ember with the female voice acting. Now, there will be a little bit of a thing coming up, but that's for after the bad game. First of all, I will just say that now that I'm probably only going to do bottom 3s next year, because again, it's live service garbage, we can just skip them. I probably will do what Pyro did, like with the clip I showed, where I just download a bunch of crazy mods and let's play Spyro with a bunch of crazy mods attached, because I think that'd be pretty fun, just to do a modded version rather than a regular one. But going back, these were the easy ones. This was the, Link's Awakening, it's fine, and I like it, but it's not a big deal compared to the next ones. Spyro came out this year on PC, the mods make it fun. I want to put it on there to show off mods, so yeah, it's fine. But the next 3 though, boy were they hard. Like those ones, it was so hard to decide who got first, second and third, and it just constantly swapped around. I was like, I want this one, yeah, definitely this one, no, this one, yes, this one, no, this one's better. Actually, you know what, I like the first choice. I think the first choice was better. So these 2, easy, but the other ones, oh boy, first, second and third are basically the real ones that were the ones that were hard to pick. But before that, the 3rd worst of the year. Now, however, we are in the hard shit. Like Link, yeah, nice remake, no, nothing fancy, and myself, kind of a cheat, but again, nothing really fancy. So it's easy, very easy to say, yeah, they're definitely 5 for honourable mention. They're easy, but these three, whew, they are so hard. I have changed my mind so many times, even to the point of recording the lines, like typing them out a couple of days ago. I was still like, what order? And right up until me recording the lines, as it's still not recorded yet, right up until me recording the lines, I'm still like, they're all so good. All 3 are first place materials, so it's super hard to decide which of these 3 great games are lesser than the other 2. And then even again, which of the 2 gets the best one. So I don't know, but here we are. So whatever you hear next is the final order. So here we go with one of the best games and the 3rd place game of the year when I make up my mind. But as whatever you hear next is that 3rd place. Oh boy. I mean, first of all, you probably all knew that this one was coming somewhere. But oh boy, what they have done. So, Outer Worlds was obviously made by the company Obsidian, which is responsible for Fallout New Vegas, which is considered one of the best Fallout games of all time, because they worked as Black Isle Studio on the original Fallout, or at least some of the development team did, and they took everything that works and everything that people liked about the 2D / isometric gameplay of Fallout 1 and 2 and brought that into a 3D space, and it was considered, as I say, the best Fallout game of all time, and many people assumed that Obsidian from now on would be spearheading the rest of the Fallout games. Nope. Nope, they didn't. They didn't. I mean, Fallout 4, it wasn't really a Fallout game, but it wasn't bad. You know, the mods made it better. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything to do with New Vegas. But of course, that's fine. You gotta find your footwork. But then came along Fallout 76. At first, everybody was hype. Everybody was really wanting what we've been asking for years, you know. a lot of people have been asking, hey, you know, wouldn't it be cool if there was a mod or official release to be able to play Skyrim together, like you and your friend exploring Skyrim together, doing battles together, or same for Fallout. Wouldn't it be cool if you and your friend, or maybe like 2 or 3 friends, go and round the wasteland together, collecting things, doing the adventures together? Because after all, a lot of people enjoy this franchise, and a lot of people have made different fan arts of themselves in the wasteland, or made, you know, with the pony community, made a little band of people. And if we take Wandering Sunrise for example, oh look, there's her, but she's got a zebra friend, she's got this friend, she's got that friend. They're exploring the wasteland together, because you're not going to explore the wasteland on your own forever. So everybody really wanted what Todd said. He's like, hey, you know, you can play Fallout with your friends. Got it. He's done it, boys. Then 76 came out.
Now I've seen everything.
Oh dear. Nah, as the little thing said, nah, I've seen everything. It was bad. And for the past year, it's just continued to degrade worse and worse and worse, until the point where...
Since the hack was released, and already we are seeing reports of people getting their items stolen en masse. So here's a video that some guy straight up posted of him deploying this hack. You can see right here, all of that player's items are suddenly gone, and this guy just runs away. And this video is 8 minutes and 53 seconds long, and he does this to about 500 players in this entire video. And yeah, this issue now is starting to run rampant. Whereas before it was kind of low-key, now that the hack has been officially released, it's just something that anyone can deploy and take advantage of. And this is something that is just prominently displayed in this video right here. Plain as day. That guy suddenly is naked and probably has no idea what the hell's going on. A lot of these players probably don't know about the hack. They're just regular old customers who are trying to play in peace, but look at that. From a distance, look how far he is from that guy and still managed to steal their inventory. And this just goes on and on and on and on for, yeah, like 9 minutes essentially. It's ridiculous that this is even a thing and that Bethesda didn't take preemptive measures to stop this or to mitigate this.
Yep, the hackers are now just running amok, and they can just snap their fingers, they can just Thanos snap all your loot, all your cards, they can just Thanos snap it all the way. So, oh boy, it's just degraded into an absolute mess. I mean, it was a mess at launch, but it's like, we're already at rock bottom. We're already, the launch of 76 is already a broken mess. Surely we can't get any worse. Hold my beer. I'm gonna do worse. So while this is going on, Microsoft give Obsidian some funding, and Obsidian said, hey, we're gonna make the Fallout that you want, because obviously Fallout 4 wasn't up to standard, and Fallout 76 is a disaster. We know what you're missing. We're gonna give you what you want. Just like any other indie game that has had a, oh well, there's no more Banjo-Kazooie, but don't worry, here is the not Banjo-Kazooie, here's Ukulele. You know, any company that can't make the original, but is the original developer, they're like, we got you. And they did get us. Outer Worlds is the true spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas in every way. It has all of the different dialogue choices and stat choices when you're first building your character. So depending on whether you're smart or you're stupid, whether you're strong or you're weak, the scientist, the Doc Brown-like character, will give different descriptors to you. Attributes. Oh, we're jumping straight in with this. Strength average, good, high,
Good
very
metabolism.
high.
High likelihood of digesting
Dexterity.
sulfur.
Oh, I could just... How many points do I have? Points remaining, none.
I'll have to use smaller words around you.
Oh, they're doing the New Vegas thing as well. Like, you can make
I
yourself
bet you could arm wrestle a primal.
They're doing like the Fallout New Vegas thing where you get different dialogue depending on what you pick. Like, I bet if we go intelligence, because he's a scientist, he'll be like, oh, very intelligent.
It says here that you solved mathematical problems just for fun. You might become the system's most dangerous sharpshooter.
Well, if we go all the way
You're
down.
a few stars short of a constellation. It says you had a habit of snarling at people. You're going to have people hanging off you like tumors on a cysty pig. Unflappable. You could have captained this very ship. You'd need a navigational computer to find your temper. 2 left feet, huh? No matter, bored outlawed dancing years ago. Quick on the draw.
Allowing you to play whatever kind of role play you like. You can play as the character you want. So many different builds to allow replayability, just like New Vegas. There are a variety of weapons from long range to medium range to melee. So again, different weapons, different variety. And every person you meet, you can have a dialogue tree with them, and you can choose to be good or evil, and you can choose to interact with these different factions in these different ways, just like New Vegas. The only thing that lets it down slightly, and why I put it as number 3, is the ending. Because with Fallout New Vegas, which they managed to stay true to for the most part, you have some fantastic characters, some absolutely amazing characters with amazing conversations. They feel like real people. It doesn't just feel like Preston Garvey where you go up to him and you just get the meme where he's like, thanks for helping. I got another settlement that needs your help. Beep boop, program activated. I'll mark the location on your map. Come back when quest complete and I will give you quest again. Like, these are actual people that have real personality, and when you talk to them, depending on what you say, they will react positively or negatively. And when you are going upon your adventure, they feel like you're on the adventure with them. It's like, it's not just my NPC that follows me around going stupid and being like, hey, AI must shoot. Like, that's why I go alone in something like Fallout 4, because you can be sneaking, or Skyrim, you can be sneaking like, oh I'm gonna get a nice sniper shot. Oh, my AI's just ran in. It saw the enemy, it just ran in, for fuck's sake, because Bethesda AI is terrible. Whereas this one, it's like, gotta be sneaky. And your AI in Outer Worlds is like, got you, I understand, we gotta be sneaky. And when you're sneaking around, they're like, I think I hear someone, I think someone's getting closer. Gotta be careful. And it's like, this is AI! Listen, they understand that there is an enemy getting closer. They're not just getting up and shooting blindly until I give the order to attack, or at least I have popped somebody in the head and they know where we are. They are actually doing their job. I can trust this person like a real person. I can trust this person to not just go brain dead and run at the enemy, unlike the Bethesda AI. And that's why I will always go alone in Skyrim or Fallout 4, because the second the AI sees an enemy, even if you're sneaking, they'll mindlessly run at the enemy, giving away your position. So Obsidian knew exactly what they were doing. They got everything right. The multiple dialogue trees, yes, the factions, like Mr. House in New Vegas, the NRC, Caesar's Legion. Yes, we got all the factions. The people that actually feel like real people. Yes, the karma system, where if you're a bastard, you'll get negative karma, and if you're a good person, you'll get positive karma. They put it all in. The only thing, and of course the different builds with the scientists doing the different things, the different weapons for even more of a diverse build. It's basically New Vegas on steroids, because with the modern technology of the Unreal Engine, they can go even further than what they could with that crappy creation engine, and they were under a time constraint, so they had the time to actually plan things out. It is New Vegas 2, which is what everybody wanted. The only thing that lets it down slightly for me, and why I'm like, I enjoy it, but I don't like, I didn't feel satisfied, is the ending. Because while it is New Vegas, while you can have different characters join your crew, you can be a bad guy to different people, you can go with different builds, different weapons, so it's got a lot of replayability. The thing that people liked about New Vegas, which added to that replayability, was the fact that you could pick the ending you wanted. So you start off, you get shot in the head, so already you have 3 choices. You can ignore the person that shot you in the head and just explore the wasteland, at which point you will run into Caesar's Legion and the NRC, and you will start there. Different endings. Or you can go to you can again ignore the person that shot you in the head, and you can go to New Vegas, and you can go to see Mr. House and see what his ending's about. Or of course you can pursue him and try and get revenge. So we're already in for 3 different endings, but it doesn't stop there. Depending on where you pick, like let's say you want to go to New Vegas, you don't just have to go to New Vegas and side with Mr. House. You can side with Mr. House and that's the end of it, or you can kill Mr. House. You can take his place as the ruler of New Vegas, and you can say, oh, I don't want to let anybody else in. All of these rich people, they're going to stay in New Vegas and all the peasants can stay outside. Or as the ruler, you can say, you know, New Vegas is for everybody. Come on in, Caesar's Legion. Come on in, Brotherhood of Steel. Come on in, NRC. Like, you can let everybody in. So there is multiple different endings for New Vegas, and that's what people liked. And as for the Outer Worlds, it's kind of, it's not too, there are a few, but it is kind of like the copy-paste endings. It's more like, even if you go for a good, but you did some bad things, it's still a good ending, minus a little extra cutscene. Whereas, again, New Vegas had multiple different endings. So this basically comes down to, are you going to be against the corporate? It's very infamous. That's why it let me down. It's very infamous, like you have to be super good or super bad to get some of the best karma points, be it positive or negative, and you only really have 2 endings of, are you going to be the rebellion, are you going to be the bringer of destruction and destroy the corporation and free all of your friends that are trapped in the outer worlds, in the cryopods, or are you going to be an obedient corporate shill that obeys your corporate masters, ignores the scientist, like kills the scientist, and gets the corporate ending? So do you want the revolutionary ending or the corporate ending? Like, there's really only 2 decisions. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Don't say the first one. Nah, we're gonna intimidate him. He's a dick.
All right, easy now. Let's not do anything we'll regret. I'll order my guards to stand down. Take what you came for and then leave us be. Stand down, all of you. We're done here.
I could blow your fucking head off. You made a smart decision.
This'll be quick.
Don't fucking talk to me. Anyone else? Spyro, no. Why did you do it? Because he threatened me. He said he had guards, he threatened me. He started it. If you do it,
Nice hit. Nice one.
started it. Oh my god, that's a good gun. Ah. Harming the innocent. They're harming me. I wanted to just walk into that man's office and they come at me. I know which one to fire on though. You're the leader.
That didn't work. Good one.
What kind of gun's that gun, by the way? The Peacekeeper 210. Oh my word! Shot cannon. You know what? Fuck that. Peacekeeper, baby. What about the helmet? 494. Wow, that's terrible armor. Why are you getting insta kill? Because I've got no health. And look, Nookie, right? Look, this guy. He's got no problem. This guy, he's got no problem. I'm not gonna go kill them. I just kill people that attack me first. Oh no, Spacer's Choice hates me. Oops. Neutral, well. You open fire on a group of people with a... You open fire on a group of people with a grenade launcher after killing their boss. Listen! He started it! He threatened, he said he had guards. He threatened to kill me. He come into my dominion and started this. Like these people, they could walk away from this fight. These people could walk away. They're choosing to engage me, so I've got no choice. I am acting purely in self-defense. Let's fire this baby. Let's test it out. Ooh, that feels nice to fire. Why did I kill Spyro to kill them all? Twilight! Kill them all! Kill them all!
Quick.
Alright, I guess that's karma. I mean, this was your choice, chat. I just want you to point this out. This was your choice. You were like, oh, fuck the corporation, fuck the corporation. We want you to help the normal people. It's just the mega corporation. Then when I come and destroy the mega corporation, you're like, why are you killing everybody? Why are you killing the mega corporation? You know what you are, chat? You know what you are, chat? You know what you are? You're this. You know what you are, chat? You're this.
This stinks! I hate it this way.
What's wrong with it?
Less cheese! More macaroni. Less macaroni. macaroni and cheese.
That's you. That's you, chat. We want you to kill the corporation. We hate the corporation. We want you to kill them. Oh, okay. You want me to kill the corporation? Boom. There you go. Corporation dead. Why did you kill the corporation? More cheese. More macaroni. More cheese. More macaroni. I don't like macaroni. Dismantling a corporate power structure and killing the people working for said structure are two different things. Well, he threatened to kill me. He said he had guards in the vicinity. He threatened to kill me. He started it. And that's kind of why I feel it got number 3. Because while the rest of it is good, just that end bit, you can see that they lacked a little bit of focus. They lacked a little bit of vision. Whatever you'd like to say about the ending. It just feels like you had so much stuff that was done right. You had all of that New Vegas juice flowing, and then right at the end, because you really only made 2 sides of Revolution or Corporation, it kind of comes down to 2 endings opposed to New Vegas, where it's like, oh, you can go find Caesar's Legion, you can go to New Vegas. Once in New Vegas, do you want to side with Mr. House? Do you want to rule the New Vegas? And even when you rule New Vegas, do you want to keep everybody out? Do you want to let everybody in? So that's kind of why it got number 3, because yes, everything else is great. Everything else is fantastic. The dialogue, the different builds, the different weapon builds, it's all great and it's all there, and it's the sequel to New Vegas. But we only got 2 endings. And I know that sounds a little bit ungrateful. Like, I don't want it to sound ungrateful. I just feel like with all of the dialogue choices that you can make and all the different characters you can get along your way depending on which dialogue options you give and which paths you take, I feel like, you know, let's just say you were going to blow up the corporation, even if you've got everybody on your side, I feel like some of them should be like, no, this is a bad idea. I'm not going to have any part of this, and, you know, like, leave your crew or something. Like, I feel like there should be just something at the end. I don't know what at the end, like, I don't know what I'd ask for at the end, but it just feels like the ending, it's very binary, and I wish it was just a little bit more open like New Vegas, but the rest of it, absolutely stunning. And from this comes the biggest thing of Bethesda's dead. Outer Worlds literally kills Bethesda because it's New Vegas. It's whatever, as I have reiterated many times, it's New Vegas. It's the spiritual successor that we've all asked for so many years. Obsidian, please make another game like New Vegas. Bethesda wasn't going to hire them, and with Bethesda just degrading into crap with 76 and Elder Scrolls Blades, this is the Starfield killer. When Starfield comes out, if it comes out, because the creation engine went bang when they were making Starfield, and I don't think they're gonna. I mean, we already know Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be on the creation engine. I don't know if they're gonna get the creation engine working for Starfield, so Starfield might even get cancelled. But let's say Starfield happens, we know what to expect. It's gonna be more creation engine shite. It's gonna be more generic garbage from Bethesda, and it's never going to live up to the Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is Starfield. The Obsidian has made Starfield before Starfield has even been made. So when Starfield finally breaks, not only is Starfield going to feel lesser than Outer Worlds because it's Bethesda, but also because of Bethesda's current reputation and current track record with the Elder Scrolls Blades, Fallout 76, Wolfenstein New Blood, we know that Starfield's going to be bad. So what's the point of buying Starfield when we already have Starfield and it's called Outer Worlds? And if Obsidian, which has got a lot of positive press, got a couple of awards at the Game Awards, if Obsidian continues this trend, if Obsidian, for example, says, we're going to make a fantasy world like Skyrim, but it's obviously not Skyrim. We're going to make a fantasy world, like, we're going to call it Left Earth. I know that's not original, it's just Lord of the Rings Middle Earth, but no, we're making Left Earth, and it's going to have all the races that all Dungeons and Dragons, because you know, Bethesda doesn't own the races. It's going to have the Dark Elves and the Imperial Army of the Kingdoms. We'll make up a couple of our own races to replace the Khajiit and the Argonians, because, yeah, Bethesda owns them, but they don't own lizard people. We can easily make a lizard person and call it, like, Salamandarians or something. If Obsidian makes a fantasy RPG, Bethesda's fully done. Like, they're already done with Starfield, but if Obsidian makes a fantasy RPG, they're the Bethesda killer. I mean, they're already the Bethesda killer, but damn, if they do that, Bethesda's just null and void. They're gone, just psh, completely. So yeah, I liked it. I liked the fact that we finally got the New Vegas that we all asked for. Would I have loved a Wasteland style game? A little bit, but that's going to be kind of hard because you're going to be compared to Fallout. But they took the formula, they put it in space, they made it their own, and they did everything we wanted. We got the multiple dialogue trees, we got the multiple followers that actually feel like people and not brain dead AI. We got the multiple builds from just like your intelligence and stuff. We got the vast array of weapons for multiple weapon builds. It's all there, and it's great, and it's the Bethesda killer, and it's fantastic. My only one gripe and why it got number 3 is, again, because you only, opposed to New Vegas's multiple endings, it's more, do you want to be a revolutionary and blow the corporation up, or be the corporate shill and do what the corporation says? And that kind of feels a little bit lacking at the end. But that's the third best. It's fine. I mean, the ending's fine, it's serviceable, and maybe I would have liked a little bit more for the end, but the rest of it, it's great, and I'm going to be really interested this year to see what Obsidian does, and how Bethesda is going to respond to The Outer Worlds, which is the space RPG we wanted, versus Starfield, because if they don't do something with Starfield, Bethesda is gonna just go, they're just gonna die. But Obsidian may truly be the Bethesda killer. Okay, look, I know what you're thinking, and I was thinking the same thing for a while. Spyro, are you really going to put this higher than the Bethesda killer? The New Vegas sequel that you and many others have begged for so long? And at one point I was like, of course not. Bitch, this is easy. Game of the year, #1 Tetris Invictus badass. As, like everyone else, I was drinking that Obsidian Kool-Aid and even playing through it, loving every moment of it. And as I got everything together, and I'm like, yes, they got everything right. As I mentioned, they got everything right. Game of the year, baby. But then after the first week of hype died down, and I sat down to start typing this script, and you know, had that big brain, let's actually look and do big brain think about these games and really like go in depth. I thought about it, and as I said at the beginning of number 3, or just before I showed number 3, it was constantly changing. I was like, well, you know, I still think it's the best. Oh, but this beats it a little bit more. No, I'm going to go back on my original word. No, I'm going to go back again. So I was still flip-flopping, but after really sitting down for the final, like, listen, you got to pick an order. It's the end of December. You got to do it. You're already well on your way, because the bad games were already being recorded at this point. I was just typing up the script for the good games, but they have been, you know, actually edited together within the space of like 2 days. But yeah, it's like, you know, you've nearly finished your bad games. You gotta make a decision. You gotta make it now. And after doing the big brain thing, I was like, well, I think Luigi's Mansion does beat it out. As while it is a smaller game, it means it had a chance to be a lot more focused. As well, it's great for the Outer Worlds to be big, which is that's what everybody wanted. They wanted that big Skyrim, The Witcher 3 world, which is great. Bigger means that in some areas it can lose focus, like the story, especially near the end. It gets a little bit lacking, which is fine. You can't expect a game as big as Skyrim or The Witcher to stay focused in all areas, especially if it's going to give you literally hundreds of hours of gameplay, what with all of the different weapons and skills and builds and everything you can make. So that's fine. It's fine to be a little bit lacking, but just because of that, in the end, I ultimately dropped it down from 2nd place to 3rd place, as Luigi, while shorter, has a lot more focus and knew everything it wanted to do, which makes it better. Luigi's Mansion 3 is the perfect sequel to Mansion 1. Spyro, what about me and Mansion 2? You're missing 2. Number 2 was bad and it wasn't worth playing. You see, 2 was made for the sake of it, as at the time, Mansion 1 was becoming a cult classic and gaining a lot of popularity, more than it did from its original GameCube release. Nintendo saw this and was like, well, 1 is getting popular, let's make a 2nd one for the sake of making a 2nd one, while not understanding why the first one was so good and why everyone was enjoying it, and by that they just stripped away everything that made number 1 good. Gallery Ghosts, they were gone for this one copy-paste boss. Booze, gone for the most part. The single, seamless mansion, which allowed for the backtracking, for the hidden treasures, speedy spirits, gone. For this this Grand Theft Auto mission-based structure with the different safe houses. So, you know, it was kind of bad. And there are many reviews and videos documenting Mansion 2's failings. However, the team that made Mansion 2, while disheartened, as it is disheartening sometimes to hear criticisms of the game you made, unlike other developers and full-on studios that will just lash out and say, no, you're wrong, how dare you criticize my work. They did what any reasonable developer should do. They put on their big boy pants. They pulled up their big boy pants and they did something that you very rarely see in this industry. They admitted they were wrong. They were like, you know what, we've watched the videos and you're alright. It might have been a bad game. We were wrong. But thank you, everyone. Thank you for telling us what was wrong, why you didn't like it. They took all the criticism, however negative, they took all that criticism to heart. They sat down, they watched the videos, and they listened to the hows and the whys of 2's failure. And from that, they said, we're going to make 3 better. We're going to flush out all the ideas you like the Dark Light, as the Dark Light was a good idea. And now that we understand why you liked it, now that we understand what made Mansion 3 or what made Mansion 2 worse, when Mansion 3 comes out, it's going to be better than 2. And it was. Dare I say that it's even better than Luigi's Mansion 1. Big statement, Spyro. Yeah, that is what you get when you sit down, you take the criticism, and you say, you know what, I understand, I'm gonna do right by you, I'm gonna make it better. And as I say, it's a tough call. I'm saying that with a shaky conviction. It is a very tough call, but to me, I dare say that it's even better than number 1. As this time, the developers of Next Level Games now had the understanding of why 1 was so good, saying, okay, 2 was made because we were told to make it and we thought it was good purely because it had Luigi. We were wrong. So now we understand, we're bringing it all back. The single mansion with multiple floors with the ability to backtrack to get all the secrets like the hidden treasure and speedy spirits, it's back. The gallery ghosts, or in this case the boss ghosts, they're back. The booze on every floor, they're back, baby. And all the new stuff, we're going to integrate it in a way that is no longer there for the sake of being there, but is there to enhance the gameplay, like the Dark Light. We're bringing it all back, and they did. So let's dive in. First of all, going back to the style of Luigi's Mansion 1, we are back to that single building in the form of a hotel this time, which is where I say it is even better than Mansion 1. Because Mansion 1 was just that, a mansion. And for the most part, it was locked to the rules and the design of a mansion. So, you know, you had, here's the foyer, here's the dining room, here's the kitchen, here's the garden, here's an attic. You know, it's very generic stuff. This is what's in a mansion, and this is what the rules have been set as. You can't have anything that is not in a mansion. You might be able to go a tiny bit wacky in some rooms, like a hidden treasure room, but for the most part, you're locked to the rules of the mansion. But with this hotel, with the multiple floors of a hotel, like a normal hotel, the rules of a normal hotel, different floors have different themes. So, you know, like, sure, the first floor is the lobby, but then you've got a floor dedicated purely to a restaurant, a floor dedicated purely to the gyms, and other floors for the Patreons of the hotel. So, now that we've got multiple floors where we're allowed to do whatever we want, this allows more freedom when creating the main building, as now every floor can be a different format. It's not locked to this single format of the standard mansion. So every floor can be wildly different, and damn, did they do a good job on that aspect. I mean, of course, there are a few standard floors, like, yes, floor 1 is a standard lobby where you check in, and floor 2 is a standard restaurant where you just eat. But the deeper in we get, the more creative and well designed and imaginative areas we get. Like the medieval jousting castle floor, mimicking the idea of a LARPing jousting entertainment restaurant. You know, the same one that Randy Pitchford left that pen drive with sensitive gearbox data on, as well as the magical squirt porn. A concert hall for the Patreons of the hotel to watch live performances. And some of my favourites, the Egyptian style rooms with a full tomb in the Queen's suite, the magical themed twisted towers for the dark magician girls, and my favourite, simply for the lighting and that sense of the ancient ruins, the garden themed suites, with each room having different flowers. Oh, ruins with mushrooms? I did not know you designed a room for the Nameless Queen. And now seeing that particular room looks like Pokemon and Luigi's Mansion devs were sharing ideas, as it kind of looks like the Glimmerwood Forest in Pokemon Sword. But that's amazing. That's all these different floors, all these different creative ideas. It adds to Mansion 1, because we're not just locked to the mansion. We can build whatever floor we want, and it adds to it. Moving down our list to the gallery ghosts. The gallery ghosts are back, or as they are now known, boss ghosts. From the failure of the same guy reskinned 5 times. Oh, he's got a different horn on his head, so it's going to be different. Oh boy. They threw that away. Everybody said it was shit. They agreed. Yeah, they threw that away, and they did what everybody wanted. They brought back the gallery ghosts. While not as many, as there is only 1 per floor serving as the end goal for that floor, I again, dare I say, feel Like, this is better than Luigi's Mansion 1, as once again, it allows for tighter focus on the fewer bosses, opposed to the many generic bosses that they had to stamp out for every single room of the mansion. As, let's face it, most of the bosses in Mansion 1 were generic. Sure, there were some more unique ones with unique interactions and personalities, like Melody, but most were generic ideas, no real animation or personality, because we had to stamp 35-ish ghosts into every room of the mansion. Generic idea. Dad. He reads books. Nothing else. Just reads books. No real change in his expression or anything. Generic idea. Fat bastard. He's fat because he likes food. He eats food. And if he's not eating food, he gets mad. A bit more personality, as he had two expressions of content glutton and angry glutton, but not really that much changes. But here, cutting down the number literally in half from 35 to around 17, as 2 floors have 2 bosses, like the final floor with Helen Gravely and King Boo, it allows for much more of a tighter focus on the bosses and allows for them to have more animations, more expressions, which results in more personality. Paul Blart, Mall Cop, he wants to be a good mall cop, but he's scared by even the smallest thing, like a little mouse at the vending machine. However, scared or not, he will still try to protect them all, getting a gun and doing proper combat roles like a real militarized police officer would, because he might be scared, but he still wants to do his job. Mozart, from his movements, he has a very high standard of himself. He's very professional, very high class. Just the way he looks over to you before the battle starts, only to dismiss you. You're not worth my time because the show is starting and the show is my profession. However, when it comes to the fight, as you can see by these different animations, he's quick to anger when you interrupt his performance. You have ruined his performance, so now he is angry. A lot more personality. Then there are 2, which are, in my opinion, 2 of the best ghosts, because they just show how much skill they really have at giving these people personality. One of them being Polterkitty, that even though she's just an animal, you don't have to be human to give this animal an immense amount of personality, which shows that they know what they are doing if they have that tighter focus. As even a simple animal can convey all this personality incredibly well. Her first showing up to steal a button, she knows what you want, and she is like, no, I'm not giving it to you. Eating the button and strutting off, head held high. A posh girl ignoring the peasant, because as the pet of a very rich owner, she is used to being treated as a high-class girl that does not associate with the common folk. And like any spoilt brat, if she can't get her own way or is being opposed, she do what spoilt brat do. She throws a temper tantrum that results in her turning into this Luna from hell of a boss.
I need to blow off some fucking steam!
Type form, in which she goes into a bigger, stronger form with razor sharp claws, as if she can't get her own way, then she will deal with her problems, even if it's fatal. Then there's the best one. Oh, the best one. There is Morty, the best one. They did an amazing job. Not only does he emote, but like Helen and King Boo, has full dialogue. Like all of us, he's a content creator, fond of the movie floor. He found on the movie floor, but fond of the movies he makes. He is passionate about creating content. We see him in a creative slump, having lost his megaphone, something that inspires him. We get to see a full array of sad emotions, and upon returning it to him, there is no fight. We get to see an array of joyous emotions, happy to have his megaphone returned, inspired once again, seeing you as a hero, as a star, taking you to a set to shoot a movie. After which, again, while there is like a little kind of mini fight against a Godzilla-like boss, himself, there is no fight. We see more different emotions, excitement at the film he's made, joy about what he's about to create, and a bit of a happy but slightly dickish tease as he gives you the button by throwing it towards you before flying off into the editing room, where, if you talk to him, he says how he's hard at work editing, how he thinks this is going to be one of the best things he's made, the passion. And at that point, you can catch him, you know, if you're a heartless dick. But if you come back after beating Helen, before entering the final door that leads to King Boo, he's relaxing, satisfied with what he's made. And you can watch his movie, you can see what he made. Such, just the little detail, it's the little details. Shaving down the bosses by half, it's the little details like that that make it so much better than one. And every boss is like that, all the bosses are like that. Few words, but packing so much personality and emotion, unlike the gallery ghosts that just had to be stamped out in every room. And that is just cutscenes alone. The actual fights only cement this further by using their professions against you, like the aforementioned Mozart using his piano as a weapon, with a nice nod to making the clanking sounds of the piano be the haunted piano from Mario 64. That's quite nice. I mean, slightly missed opportunity to bring Melanie back as a cameo, but whatever. Or Dr. Ivo Robotnik. No, come on. It's a big ginger moustache, that long nose. That's the OG Ivo, who, failing to beat that hedgehog, has taken up a profession as a chef. But like Gordon Ramsay, he gets mad if you're trying to mess up his food. So he's gonna use his food against you, and he's gonna tell you that you can't cook, and he needs to beat some sense into you with his frying pan. You fucking donkey. That was Robotnik trying to say fucking donkey. He can't. But this is, you see, this is why everyone is good. However, 1 point off for the basement and that fucking basement boss. Fuck this boss. Like, does he have some personality in the cutscene? Yes, but fuck this floor and fuck that boss. Why? Why? It was so good. You were doing so good, and you fucked it on this one floor. Never do this again. That was a terrible floor. Don't do that shitty gimmick. You did it in number 2 with the 4th boss, the one where you got to use that shite turret. Don't. No. Basement 2, bad. Get a newspaper. Bap. Bap you with a newspaper. Bad. Bad on Basement 2. Don't do Basement 2 again. And to wrap up, of course, the gameplay, where it's like the OG Mansion 1, which was what everybody wanted. The single mansion, or in this case hotel, where after every boss is defeated, you'll return to the lab to put them into the portrait device, but it's not a portrait device in this one. But every boss will be returned to the lab. But after that, you can return to any floor at any point to find the hidden extras, like the gems, the speedy spirits. But speaking of the gems, there is 6 on each level that look like what the floor is themed after, so that's great. The hidden boos once again come back on every floor, really good, and it's great. It's great. And then we add on top of that the stuff that worked in Mansion 2 but was never flushed out, like the Dark Light, that is no longer, oh, find the key mission item, but is now used as a proper scavenger hunt device, revealing invisible pathways or invisible items to find more treasure, more secret gems, more speedy spirits, sometimes even just finding the gem itself, as the gem itself can be invisible. It also uses one other thing, like the pictures for sucking treasure out, like the Dark Light sucks treasure out. Unfortunately, I have sucked all of the treasure out, so I can't show that one off. But it all adds, it mixes all of the things that worked from 1 and all the things that worked from 2 and just slams them together into this great game of number 3. I don't know about the whole slamming thing, like some ghosts have been given more health for the sake of using it, like the generic default ghosts have 100 HP for the sake of the game wanting you to use the slam, so not sure about that, but everything else is, get the meme man out. Damn, that shit good! And it's why I think there is maybe, and no, you know what? At this point, I'll say it confidently, and that's why I think it's definitely better than Luigi's Mansion 1. And I hope that we keep this style. If there is a Mansion 4, rolling into Mansion 4, we've got the formula. We've got everything that works. The mansion or the hotel, different creative areas, a single gallery ghost or boss ghost in that area to allow for a tighter focus on their personality, the backtracking to find the hidden stuff, maybe turn down the slamming a little, and fuck off that Basement 2 ghost. Don't do the gimmick boss of Basement 2. But aside from that, it all works. Everything works, and that's why number 3 is probably the best, if not the best Luigi's Mansion, and I can see myself replaying it for years to come, and as such, that's why it got the second best game 2019.
Cinder and blight veil the air, bring the night, and your eyes they close. Sweet repose suspended, the hours fly, years go by. Then the morning comes, shadowed by the moon, and the angels for whom you speak cry for light, cry for all of us, shards of hope gathered in the name of the meek. Rise, our champion, now rise.
God damn! Did Iga pull it off? Kickstarters are always a bit wary and can lead to you not quite getting what you expected. Like, it comes with caveats. You know, oh, you want a Mega Man remake? Oh, yes please. Well, here's Mighty Number 9. But it's got this weird absorption system, and it's better than nothing, and it's not really the Mega Man you wanted. You want Banjo-Kazooie? Oh, yes please. Well, here's Ukulele. But it's more like Donkey Kong 64 with the big expanses of nothing, and having 200 bananas and 25 ooh banana per level like Donkey Kong 64. So it's not actually the Banjo-Kazooie you wanted, it's Donkey Kong 64. Iga, on the other hand, Do you want Castlevania Symphony of the Night 2? The OG Metroidvania in one big castle of monsters with RPG elements and magic powers and different weapons? Yes, please. Here you go. Bloodstained. Oh, thank you, Mr. Rigger. Bloodstained is everything I expected and wanted. Like The Outer Worlds, it is the true successor to Symphony of the Night, but it gets everything spot on. It nails everything exactly where it needed to nail it. So, as I say, true successor of Symphony of the Night. It's just literally Symphony of the Night 2 in all but name, but it adds on to that by giving you everything that made all of the other great Castlevanias, like Aria of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin, good. So that's a nice little bonus. It then makes up its new lore setting in terms of it's more of a industrial revolution, but then it brings magic into it with alchemy. So it's like Full Metal Alchemist, where we're not quite in modern technology, but we're not quite in the Stone Age. So it's got a lot of copper pipes, a lot of brass, a lot of steampunk elements. So it feels very not bloodstained, very Bloodborne like. So it's got this nice Victorian Gothic architecture, but it's also got the alchemy, the copper and brass pipes feeding all the magic crystals and all of the steam through them, and all these nice big gears. So it's this very Victorian era Gothic architecture smashed together with some steampunk crystal aesthetic, and it's like, oh, ooh, that's, you nailed that. And then you have the new characters like Miriam, which again, character designs are fantastic, where it's not only just, oh, it's another Belmont, it's Soma Cruz, it's just a guy with white hair, or a guy, it's a girl, but she's also half demon, so we can put like the actual magic crystals fused on her body, so she's got all this stained glass running through her body, and it's like, oh, you did so great, so good on the designs there. And it's got a few mentions of Foot Konami, which is great. I'll come back to that. And this is perfect, because this is the kind of game that AAA is just not going to make. They say it doesn't sell, and it's just like, oh well, you know, here is it's like the diametric opposite. Actually, I want to change my statement. It's like the diametric opposite to AAA. You know, taking the worst game of 2020, 2K 2020, which, by the way, yes, I've seen that bug now from time of recording, where WWE 2K 2020 doesn't work in the year 2020. But here is 2K 2020.
It's a constant, ongoing live service. It's buggy and broken and won't even work in the year 2020. It has premium currency for you to buy, but it's just optional. We're just sort of giving you options to skip the grind. It's a time saver.
It has a casino for kids to help keep the addiction going and keep them spending more real world money. And it has a battle pass to keep you playing from, you know, gotta get everything before the expiry date, or you lose it all forever. While Bloodstained is the diametric opposite. It is not a live service. It is a proper single player experience that lasts for around 50 hours ish. It's been polished as much as possible to make sure there are as few bugs as possible. It has no premium currency, no day one DLC or anything like that. The hook is not the fact that it's a casino or something to instill that gambling addiction to keep you playing. You just keep playing because it's good, and there is no battle pass to be done by a deadline. You can relax, take it easy, take as long as you need to get 100%, and if you want more content, like with the Outer Worlds, replay it. Try a new build, try new items, play as a mage, no swords. Can you beat the entire game? only fighting with spells and summons like Willow and transformations like the Bunny Demon Lily, why don't you try it out? Crazy, right? It's crazy how just making a game, polishing the game, and then selling the game actually results in it being a good game and getting awards. Fuck's wrong with you, Konami? Fuck's wrong with you, AAA industry? And, you know, as I say about the getting rewards from the big outlets and YouTubers, it's almost like EA, 2K, making a game and selling a game results in a good game. Isn't that crazy? You fucking idiots. But Iga is not an idiot. No. This, as I have said, no live service garbage. He took his time. He delayed it like 3 times in a row to polish it, to make sure it came out to the absolute best he could. Everything about Bloodstained screams true spiritual successor to the newer good Castlevanias of Symphony of the Night, Portrait of Ruin, Aria of Sorrow. Just taking the inspiration and acknowledging it, like, oh, well, in, is it Aria of Sorrow or is it Portrait of Ruin? I can't remember which of the two it is, but it's like, oh, well, I'll just say it's Aria, but in Aria of Sorrow, you can steal monsters' souls, but we're going to take inspiration from that, but instead, they all have, like, the demons are kind of like the gems from Steven Universe, where they have a crystal in their body, and by slaying them, you're slaying their physical form, but then you can absorb the crystal into yourself to gain its power. So it's not quite the monster stealer, it's not quite the soul stealing from Aria of Sorrow. It's totally different, because that's trademark of Konami. It is shard collecting. It's destroying the gem's physical form and taking the shard as your own. So totally different. But again, going on to the shards though, there's so many, and that is what's going to give you the replayability, and it's always going to feel fun and fresh to find all these different shards, figure out what they do, figure out what's the best shards to use. And even if you beat the game, hey, well, if we get some different shards, then we could create 1,000 different builds, thousands of potential combinations, because you can have up to 5 shards equipped. You can have a shard where you like hold out your hand and you press the fire button, so you have like a actual fireball like projectile shard. You have a transformation shard, you have a summon shard. So for example, just with these 3, this isn't even getting into the other 2, but for these 3 you could have let's just say the fireball shard equipped, so you're shooting fireballs. You can have your transformation be the bunny girl Lily, your summon will be Willow, your power up shard, which is yellow, can be for one-handed, two-handed, guns, kung fu shoes. So your power up shard can be based on the weapon you're currently using. And I just listed off so many weapons, so what power up shard do you want? Do you want two-handed, one-handed, guns, flails, battle axes, all these different power up shards? Do you want Willow as a summon because she can heal you because she's a fairy? Or do you want my hog? Do you want this summon? Do you want that summon? What transformation? Sure, you could be a bunny girl, or you could be something else, or something else, or something else. And when you combine like the 5 shards that you're allowed to equip with like the 130 shards, that's gonna be 10-20,000 different combinations. So it's just gonna be able to be replayed for so long. It's got so much replayability. So yeah, the setting's great. All the different weapons, all the different shards, all the different spells, the different summons, it's all there, and it all just, it just melds together. It melds together. And you know, the other one extra thing is also the clothing. You can change your clothing, so you know, you can have Miriam's normal goat horns, I don't know what they're called, the things on the default character, or you can wear something else, or you know, you can just go full on silly and wear the stone mask from JoJo. Yeah, because obviously it was a Kickstarter. You could put any item you wanted in the game. So here's the stone mask from JoJo. There is quite a few of those, and that makes it also feel like Bloodborne. Just as a quick comparison, because it's like, oh haha, I can wear the stone mask and I can find the yellow dress, so I can roleplay as Dio and go Zerwaldo, as there is a somewhat time freezing spell. More slows down time than freezes it, but you could roleplay as Dio, and that kind of makes this equivalent to Bloodborne with the Victorian setting all the more appropriate, because it's the equivalent of playing as Eustace Bagg. That's it. I'm getting me mallet. So it's all great. It all works. And as I said before, there is a good nice amount of references to Konami being shit, like the bonus boss, the Millionaire's Bane, that is literally a pachinko machine. This is one of those games that was right place at the right time, all the stars aligning. Konami and AAA industry is crashing and burning all around us, saying no, there's no place for these games. It's live services and time savers. There's no time to make quality games. There's nothing, nobody's buying quality games. And then Iga comes out and says, yes there is. And I mean a lot of other people, Hollow Knight for one of them, with its soon to be sequel Silk Song, Bug Fable, replacing Paper Mario. We haven't even got to that, that's going to be the next video. I'm doing the first impressions of that. But Bug Fable, replacing Paper Mario. There's no time for these games, yet in the indie area, these games are alive and well, and proving that we don't need AAA anymore. Konami, EA, Bethesda, they're done. Forget them. You don't need them. Sure, the publishers, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, you can have your publishers. You want to put Bug Fable on the Switch because it's the spiritual successor to Paper Mario? You put that Bug Fable on the Switch. You want to put Bloodstained on the PS4 because Castlevania, especially Symphony of the Night, was on the original PlayStation? You put Bloodstained on the PlayStation. Sure, it's fine to have the main three publishers of Microsoft, Sony and Nintendo, but in terms of like the actual AAA companies of Konami, EA, Bethesda, Activision, we don't need you anymore. You're done. If you want to keep hammering live services home, then we don't need you. As Shiggy says, despite the quote being a bit dubious as it depends on the developer and how it's used, a rushed, and I'm going to change it slightly, a rushed live service game like Tom Clancy's Breakpoint will be endless trash. But a delayed game from a good developer with good intentions like Iga will kick that shit. It will kick the absolute shit out of Konami and its fucking Castlevania pachinko machine. And now with his overjoyed, well, his and its, with Iga's and Bloodstained's overwhelming praise, people overjoyed, Iga has cemented himself as a true, competent indie developer that still has it, and like how Outer Worlds has made Bethesda and Starfield irrelevant because all they do is live service garbage, 76, Iga too has just made Konami and its pachinko machines irrelevant. There is no need for them to exist anymore, and Castlevania is now alive and well with its original creator, with this franchise. Sure, is it not called Castlevania? No, but it's the spiritual successor. So even if Konami wants to bring out you know, new Castlevania pachinko machines. Doesn't matter. Too little to... I mean, first off, if Konami wants to pull an EA and actually, like, make a good Castlevania, like Fallen Order, too little, too late. You should have thought of that before you fired the original creator and developer and turned a beloved series into a pachinko machine. But second, if you just want to bring out another garbage pachinko machine like you currently did with Contra and whatever that crappy Contra game is where the guns overheat, doesn't matter. The original creator is making Castlevania games because Castlevania doesn't matter anymore because it's all about Bloodstained. Because Bloodstained is just literally Castlevania in all but name, made by the original Castlevania developer. So we don't need you and your pachinko machines anymore, Konami. And that's it. Did you agree? Did you disagree? What were your favourite games of the year? What are you looking forward to in 2020? We'll find out. And as I said in number 1, we do have a game that didn't quite make it into 2019. It was released last year, but only in the final month. And this list was already made, so gets on to 2020. And that is going to be Bug Fable. It's already been purchased. It's already sitting in my Steam library. I will be doing a first impressions of that, but first, which will be the next video, just a little talk, little 2020 New Year's message, because that's kind of already pre-recorded. I've already got that recorded, but I wanted to finish off 2019 with this video first. So then you'll see the New Year's message, then you'll see the first impressions of Bug Fable. And the New Year's message is more like plans for 2020, like the Fallout retrospective and streaming and stuff. So that's what to expect in that. But for now, that is the best of 2019, the cream of the crop. And hopefully we will get just as good games, just as amazing games in 2020. I look forward, you know, I already know there's going to be quite a few that could definitely hit what we've hit in this video of good games. I mean, Hollow Knight Silksong, ooh, first Hollow Knight was good. Hornets one, it's looking good. And, you know, Bug Fable looks alright. Can't say anything on that because I haven't tried it yet, but looks alright. So, maybe that'll be a good game as well. We'll see. But yeah, ooh, hopefully 2020 can be as good, and from what I've seen, it is looking to be as good. What with Silksong, potentially Bug Fable, and a couple of Nintendo games like Animal Crossing New Horizon, is potentially looking like a good year, so we'll see. But for now, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see all of you. I mean, it is technically already January, it already is 2020 by the time this video goes up, but you know, I'll still treat it like it's 2019, so I'll see all of you, last video of the decade, I'll see all of you in the new decade, where we're going to have flying cars and all sorts of crazy things, so see all of you then.